We all talk about setting boundaries at work, right? But what if the whole concept isn't about building walls at all? What if it's actually about building bridges? Let's dive into that.
So let's just get right to the heart of it. Are workplace boundaries a sign of weakness? Like you're admitting you just can't handle the pressure. Or are they secretly a source of some serious strength and focus?
Let's be honest for a second. When you hear the phrase setting a boundary, it often sounds a little defensive, doesn't it? Kind of like you're putting up a wall to keep your colleagues at arm's length. And that perception, well, it stops a lot of us from ever even trying.
Okay, this is where it gets really interesting. The myth we're all told is that boundaries create distance, but the reality? It's the complete opposite. Clear, respected boundaries actually build trust. That's a huge shift in how we think about this.
It really makes you stop and wonder, what if our whole negative view of boundaries as these big, scary walls is just completely backward? What if they aren't about shutting people out, but about opening up a way better, more collaborative way to work together?
And here it is, the big idea in one sentence. Boundaries aren't barriers, they are bridges to well-being. Just let that sink in for a second. Not a wall that divides, but a bridge that creates a safe, clear path for real connection.
So what does a boundary as a bridge actually look like in the real world? Well, it's really just an agreement. It's built on mutual respect for each other's time, our energy, and our focus. And when those expectations are super clear, you get this amazing thing called psychological safety, which is the bedrock of trust and great teamwork.
The concept of a bridge is great, it's powerful, but how do you actually, build it? Let's get practical and move from the what to the how.
So building these bridges of trust really comes down to 3 foundational pillars. And they're simple, they're actionable, and they're incredibly effective. Respecting time, encouraging breaks, and valuing quality. All right, pillar number 1 is fundamental. Respecting that the workday has an end. You know that quick question email that lands in your inbox at 9 p.m.? It might seem harmless, but over time, it's so corrosive. It basically sends the message that your personal time doesn't matter, and that just erodes trust. Honoring that off-the-clock time is one of the clearest signs of professional respect you can give or get.
Now, pillar 2 goes right after that always-on culture. Instead of praising people who are heroes for working through lunch, a truly healthy workplace encourages people to step away and recharge. And this isn't about being lazy, it's about being effective. It shows you trust your team to manage their own energy, which, ironically, makes them more committed and better at solving problems.
And finally, pillar number 3 is all about what we measure. Are we rewarding the appearance of being busy, a calendar packed with meetings, a constant flurry of emails, or are we rewarding high-quality, thoughtful work? A culture that values one brilliant memo over 50 rushed emails is a culture that builds a boundary around focus, and that focus is what gets you amazing results.
And when we actually commit to building on these pillars, the results are, they're transformative. Trust goes way up because expectations are clear and people feel respected. Burnout goes down. Psychological safety grows, which allows for more honesty and innovation. And everyone gets a much healthier mix between their work and their life. So this brings us right back to the main point. Healthy boundaries are not about working less or keeping people away. They're about building a culture of real trust. Because when trust is the foundation, everything else, from creativity to productivity to our own well-being, can finally, truly flourish. So I'll leave you with this to think about. What's one boundary, big or small, that has genuinely improved your work life? Maybe it's something as simple as turning off notifications after 6 p.m. or blocking out real focus time on your calendar. Whatever it is, that's your starting point. That's your first step to building even stronger bridges. Really think about it.